Hello, I'm Sophia Lou and welcome to my channel.
Hello guys and welcome to this week's Sketchbook Sunday. This week the topic as chosen by you guys is designing your own Mushroom Hunters character. This week's topic kind of ties in with last week's topic and I'm very excited that you guys chose this so we can get back into more of the lore of the Plant Witch universe. As always, the topics for next week's video is going to top up here. Make sure to vote for your favourite topic. Don't worry if one topic isn't chosen for the next week's video. These are topics that I really would like to do, so they will get done. Don't stress too much. I promise I'll get it done for you. This week, this sketchbook, in case you didn't know, my last sketchbook is filled. So there will be a link leading to the sketchbook tour if you are interested in seeing it. But this sketchbook is one I picked up from a store called Tiger. I think it's called Tiger or it's just called Tiger. There's a few variations of the same, but anyway, it's just a cheap cartridge paper sketchbook, which I originally was going to use for a sketchbook slam challenge, but decided against that, and instead I'm just going to use it as my normal sketchbook. I haven't quite filled it yet, but for now we've got our sketchbook, we've got our pencils, we've got our lovely cup of tea. Let's sit down, grab your sketchbooks, and let's discuss. Okay, so first things first, Plant Witch universe / Mushroom Hunters universe. They are the same universe. I had a few people comment asking, yes, it is the same universe. The main difference is that Plant Witch is a comic series and Mushroom Hunters is a children's book series that I'm working on. But they both cross over and they both intersect. They are the same universe and you will be able to see some characters in the background of the same thing. But designing a Mushroom Hunters. Mushroom Hunters are foragers, so naturally they tend to be either gnomes, dwarves, elves, very rarely humans, and very rarely like tiefling type characters. They tend to be people that are very good at hunting, and they can be quite built or they can be quite short, whatever takes their fancy really. You can have an unusual character if you are to create a Mushroom Hunters character. Don't worry too much, you can create whatever you want. But for now, I'm going to design this character who has a pig called Truffles. So, what is a rule for a Mushroom Hunter? A Mushroom Hunter must be a great gatherer because that is their skill. They are gatherers. They gather, in the known universe, elves tend to be known as gatherers and they gather materials, they gather lots of different things, but Mushroom Hunters are slightly different from gatherers. Gatherers tend to work within industrial type settings because that's the best paying job, but Mushroom Hunters are people who kind of stepped away from that universe and they tend to keep themselves to a foresty area. They are quite lonely people, but they do get together and they do like a good gathering. They're very friendly. But you know, every now and again it comes across that they have quite rough places to go through. You know, sometimes when you're hunting for particular mushrooms or particular parts, you know, you're going to come across trouble. So they need to make sure that they can pull up themselves against a good fight. So this guy that I am designing is a character that's sort of in development for me. He's still got a long ways to go with his design, but he has a little pig named Truffles, and I really wanted to do a pig for this Mushroom Hunters character because it just made sense that he would have a little pig that would help him hunt truffles, which are the more expensive type of mushrooms. They're more culinary than anything. So as for outfit choices, because I did have a few people ask about this, anything that's loose, good clothing. If you're going to create a character that sits within this universe that is a Mushroom Hunter, they tend to have quite hardy clothing that's going to stand like a good weather change, because sometimes you never know when the weather is going to change. Mushrooms tend to like to grow in dark, moistened areas. I hate that word so much, but it happens to be that they would have to have quite hardy clothing. Some Mushroom Hunters live in cold areas, some Mushroom Hunters live in warm areas, some live in caves. So I like the idea that they are quite varied in race in comparison to most towns, some towns in the Mushroom Hunters and Plant Witch universe, they're sort of very exclusive. They look down on certain other races and this, that and the other, and that is just because that is some of their culture. The place where Marie lives is a very open place, and there are quite a few towns which are very open. Goblins are known as thieves, so they can be looked down upon a little, but yeah, there are places that accept all sorts of different cultures, and it tends to be there are only like a handful of towns that do look down on certain certain cultures and races, much as our own universe. But it's very, very rarely that you would come across something like that. The Plant Witch / Mushroom Hunters universe is still in development. I'm looking at actually designing a proper map and then explaining more about the universe when I have a bit more information settled down, because it's still in development currently. It's not something that I can openly discuss because I'm not entirely sure. So, what kind of critter can your mushroom hunter have? Think about what is going to help a gatherer. Think about what is going to help that sort of character get the mushroom. The reason why Freya has these sort of like cat-ish creatures / rabbits is because she found them, but they help her gather materials. They have quite sharp teeth. Pigs are quite good at digging under the earth, so he'll be able to help this mushroom hunter gather his source of materials. Wow, I am not very good at explaining currently. But not only is this mushroom hunter able to have his pet help him, he's able to really, utilize what the pet does. Bear in mind, this character's still in development, so we've still got far away to go. Okay, so what are the mushroom hunters like? I kind of touched on it earlier. They kind of live very rural areas. They very rarely venture out into towns. Some mushroom hunters will sell their mushrooms for materials to potion makers, because there is a lot of potion makers that require said material but don't necessarily have the skills to be able to get them. Some mushroom hunters will venture out into like towns and trade their stuff. I know in the city of Arkandale there is actually a mushroom stall which not only does Freya take a hold of, but some of the mushroom hunters in that set area will also use as well. So they kind of take turns about going into town. Don't really like going into town areas because it reminds them of their hometowns and the environment that it was like. They're sort of nomads in a way of where they wander around from time to time. They have a very sense of loyalty to each mushroom hunter. So I can imagine that Freya would get along with this dude and this little piggy would play around, but they don't choose to spend time with each other. They only do it as like parts of festivals or festivities or anything like that. So when you're thinking of designing your own mushroom hunter character, think about their personality. Remember that with the mushroom hunters, they can be quite friendly, but at the same time they can be quite standoffish as well. They may not choose to interact with people. The only reason why a mushroom hunter would really go out of their comfort zone is to gather their own resources. For example, most mushroom hunters tend to be vegetarians because a lot of the critters that they have, they don't raise them for food, they raise them to be friends and companions because they don't spend much time with other people. I hope this kind of has helped you guys develop some of your own mushroom hunters, and I really want to see what you guys do. Like, tag me on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, anything like that with the hashtag Stay Creative with Saphira Lee, so that I can see your work. Like some of your creations that you did for the Plant Witch idea have been amazing so far, and I've really loved seeing them. I really do enjoy doing this sort of interaction with you guys, because it means that not only can I create more characters for this universe, it means that, you know, you guys get to create something that would be able to fit in this universe. For those who may be thinking, well, some mushroom hunters magic users, yes. The only difference between the mushroom hunters and people who live in the towns and the cities and of all different races and all different cultures is that they tend to live by themselves. They don't really like to interact with the culture that is developing, that's becoming around machinery. They don't really like the political side of those universes, so try and keep to themselves. And it's the same can be said for a lot of people in the like in the outskirts who don't want anything to do with like the major cities. Whereas Marie is trying to show the importance of plants and trying to help develop and change people's ideas, the mushroom hunters just kind of keep to themselves. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and my very, very quick poor sketch. It could be much better, but as I said, this character is still in development. I know his little piggy's name, but I don't know his name. And if you guys want to name the character, you are more than welcome to. I still really want to develop this character more, and I want to develop more mushroom hunters. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know down below. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to tag me in your work, because I really want to see what you get up to. But as always, folks, stay creative. Bye!